Perfect. And then I'd also like to introduce Heather. So Heather's on the screen and Amanda Webster. Both of these are our student volunteers. They've been working really hard. So probably offer them lots of money and hire them right now. That would be fantastic. But no, they will be another assist for you. So during the event, they are technically moderators on all of your booths. So they have the same ability that you do. So if you have some technical issues or if you just need a little help with something, they are definitely around. And I'll show you how to, once you're within the system, I'll show you how to connect with them really easily. And then, of course, myself and then Marilyn. All right, can I get someone to confirm that you're seeing the hop-in view? That was a yes? Okay. Okay, perfect, thank you. Okay, so, and many of you are familiar with this program from last year. For those of you who are not, Hop-In is, your virtual trade show, essentially. When they first come into this program, they will fall into what we call just a landing page or a reception page. And within this event, that'll just give you some of our descriptions of what's going on. Just a little stuff about some sessions that we might be offering the students. So we'll have our co-op department in sessions. And then the expo where you will be manning your individual booths. So when they land in here, they will be directed to the stage. Our dean will have a nice little message, I'm sure, and just kind of greet everyone. And then I think during that time, we'll also just remind the students how best to connect with you guys. So that's more or less the reception area. As you'll see on the right-hand side, we'll have this event. So this is our event chat. So this is a general chat that you can type anything you want to anybody in it. I'll show you in a little bit, but when you're in your particular booth and you may want to drive traffic to your booth, you can come out here and click and drop a link so that people can come and join you real quickly. So come to Deerhurst Resort, now taking interviews or something along those lines. And there'll be a little link for that. So I'll show you how that works. So you can chat in this. Students will ask random questions. You can feel free to answer them. You can also research all the people that are maybe currently in the event. And this will also be a way of how we're going to have virtual interviews as well. So this is just the event chat. There will also be your booth chat, so a little bit more private. So after the reception page and we do our stage and do our little announcement, they'll either go to a session, but most likely they'll jump right into this expo area. And what you will have is this individual booth for all of the companies here. So everyone should be here. Some people still need to get a little bit of information back to us, but for the most part, I think they're all in. We will have a Georgian College Health booth. So it's basically if I'm not in helping someone or Marilyn's not in helping someone, we'll come back to this particular area. And that'll just be our hangout area. So if there's something that comes up and you need some assistance, you can jump in there, or you can just put, I wonder if you can just go, hey, Steven, will it pop up? Then search us on people. So if I go into a particular place, so let's go Taboo Muskoka. No, there's a particular one I want to go in. Well, I know Brody's here. So we're going into the actual booth here. So as a moderator, when you first come in, there will be a video or a YouTube link of just kind of usually it's a property introduction or what it's like working for that particular place. It doesn't need to be on that. That's usually a good screen to have if you need to go grab a coffee, go to the washroom, eat your lunch. Just kind of a default screen. For the most part, when you're in here, you will toggle on live sessions. So you can only do this when you are a moderator. And what you'll do is you'll toggle on your live sessions and you'll share your audio and video. And I'm just gonna, let's see if this works. I don't know if it'll work because I have different cameras. but you get the idea. So now I'm in my booth. Let me turn off that mic just in case. So I'm in my booth and I can talk to all the students. And what I will be doing is, as a moderator, the students will request to come into this particular booth. So you'll see a blue little arrow sign or a blue plus sign that'll pop up. And basically what will happen is that they'll say, Amandeep Singh wants to share their audio and video. And then you can have a live chat with them. You can have up to 10 people in a live chat format. And then this eyeball right here shows you how many people are currently in your booth. So you might have 35 people in your booth, but only 2 or 3 are currently on the screen. But it's also something to be wary of as well, because you are live and they are listening to you still. So I'm just going to turn off this camera just so you get a better idea of how that works. Also in the other information, so right now Deerhurst just has a little blurb about what it is to work at Deerhurst. What we do recommend to you all is that you put as much information in there as you want. You can include links to your career site, talk about your different positions. You can include some email addresses if you want. Really, you can't really put too much in there. If you want to put graphics, there's an option of putting some graphics. So if they want to, they want to see what their shared accommodation might look like. If you have staff housing, these are things that are useful and answer a lot of questions for them. So as we go through and as you go into your own booth, take a look at this other information section, and it can be quite detailed and in-depth should you want it. Marilyn, how are we doing on the chat? Is there any questions? Okay. Okay, so on the right-hand side, so that's the first way that they're going to communicate with you, is sharing their audio and video and speaking with you right then and there. Another way is that they can also chat with you. So right now you can see we are on our booth chat. And then within here, you can see the people that are in your booth only, and you can chat with them. So, the students are nervous. They've been talking about this, but it's nerve-wracking to go and talk to the head of HR or CEOs or owners of all these companies. So sometimes you might need to spark up the conversation a little bit. Oh, I can see Marilyn's in here. And that way, you just get that ball rolling. We usually recommend 2 people per booth, because what happens then is that somebody can manage the chat while another person is maybe talking live. So that's ideal. And you can see when Marilyn joined me that it was added 1 more person here under the eyeball. So that's another way. And then the final way is that the student can literally just click register interest, which will send their name and their email address to your email address that you gave us, indicating that they would like to be contacted for a job. It is by far the easiest way / the laziest way to apply for a job. But again, it is another way. And even if you're not in the booth at the time, it does work where they can say register interest. And then Brody at back of the office gets a couple emails and says, oh, these 6-7 people have indicated that they want to work for me, although I don't remember talking to them. At that point, Brody would probably send an email back saying, please send me your resume and tell me what positions you're interested in, or whatever he would do. He would know best. There you go. So Marilyn just goes, hi there, I'm looking for a job this summer. So that's fantastic. And then I would reply back. And there's emojis and all that fun stuff as well. Should you think that there is somebody that's fantastic, you've met with them a little bit, you chatted with them, and you want to interview them right there on the spot, you can go to people. If they're in your booth, you can not right click. I can click on this and invite to a video call. So it basically just throws you into your own individual room where just the 2 of you can have a meeting or an interview right on the spot, and just gives you that level of privacy that this particular screen might not give you. So just click on the person's name, invite to a video call, and then, hi, Marilyn, I'm inviting you to a private meeting room, and she will do that or not. She's going to deny it. Yeah, I think so as well, yeah. Too many cameras going here. So that's a final way where you can really interview with that person and hire them on the spot, because sometimes that's what the student wants, and maybe that's what you want as an employer. You got 50, 60 people to hire. You want to get as many done within this time frame as you can. So those are more or less the main options on how we connect with people: video, live, through a basic register interest. Brody, I'm just going to click this, and it'll say success when it happens. He should have gotten an email, or his HR department did, or through the chat in itself. And then when you don't want to have presentation mode on, you can just click it back off. Just, if nobody's in your booth, which could happen, you don't need to have this running and live and you be on the screen. So those are the main ways. Now, if you want to get people into your booth that are in the main event, but they're not in your booth, what you could do is you copy and paste the link that is currently in your browser, because this is the link for your individual booth. And if I go into the main event, I could say, come check out the best resort ever, and include my link. Now, anyone would click on this, come check out the best resort ever, although I didn't say who I was. They can just click on this link, and this is in the main event, so there could be several hundred people here, and they click on that, and it will lead them directly into your booth. Questions on that? Feeling good? Okay.
Stephen, that's one of the reasons why we can just comment on this, that we left the event open for 5 o'clock, because if you want to say, well, if you have scheduled interviews for 2 to 3 hours, 2 o'clock,
yeah, perfect. Thank you, Marilyn. Yeah, 11 till 2 is when the time that they have been told to attend. And then some of them might have class until 1, so they'll come in after. But usually that 3 hours is more than enough. And we also don't want to take up your entire day. But it does make sense that if you want to get to them right away, and sometimes these things are lost in translation if you don't strike quickly, you can say, hey, I'm going to schedule an interview with you at 2, and you at 2:15, and you at 2:30. And I believe that you can schedule a meeting at a particular time as well. So you can invite to a video call, you can send an individual message, or you can schedule a meeting, whatever you think makes most sense. You can create polls. You can put up some common question and answer stuff that they might have. I don't see a ton of value in it personally, but you can put up a poll and saying, what kind of position are you interested in? It's more probably for a research thing than it would be getting more interest to your actual location. So at this point, I'm just going to stop sharing my screen for a minute. So that is a great question. So John asks, is register interest asked for a resume to be attached? We tried. It does not. It's going to be a 2-part process where they'll have to send you information, which is just an email in their name, and you'll have to reply back. Teresa, you have a question? Your hand's up. High five. We're considering changing the name of register interest. Maybe request an interview would be better. Do you think? Yeah, okay. Just to make it a little bit more clear, because register interest doesn't quite hit the nail on the head. Yeah. So as far as international students are concerned, and we'll be frank, we have a large international student body here at Georgian College. And while I like to think that all of them are just 100% passionate about hospitality, some of them are more passionate about just being able to be a Canadian, which means that they're looking for a couple things. And it's just good to have an idea of exactly what they're looking for and understand it. And I know many of you are more well-versed in this than I am. Having accommodations on site or transportation routes close by is very important to them. So if they don't have a means of transportation that they can live on site, and I think many of you already have that, room for growth or potential supervisory positions. So as a potential permanent resident, as a student, they have to attain a certain level of career. And they have 3 years in which to do it, but they're always very nervous about that kind of stuff. And nor do you hand out supervisory jobs. But you can have a conversation about, should you excel and you work hard and you do the job that we expect of you, I don't see any reason that we wouldn't look at you for a supervisory position. Alleviate a little bit of that fear that they have that they're going to pick a job that there's no, in 3 years, if they don't get what they kind of need, they don't get to stay here. And that's a big fear for a 19-year-old kid whose parents and community and all their family has kind of donated a lot of their money for them to be here. So I'm not saying guarantee anything, but definitely, it's the elephant in the room a little bit for them, where they just want to know that you understand that concern of theirs. Okay. So at this point now, before we leave this training session, what we'll do is we'll hop over into the actual hop-in event using that link in the meeting chat. But before we do that, any questions that I can answer? Because once we're over there, it'll be a little bit more difficult to chat with you. Myself, Heather, Amanda, and Marilyn will be jumping into your booth so you can play with some of the chat with us back and forth and get a feel for it. And if you need to communicate, use the main event chat, because I'll need to close down this meeting and move over there, if that makes sense. There's just too many meetings and screens and video. It's ridiculous. And next year, come to the college, please, and meet the student. Yeah. Okay, so I'll put the link for anyone that's kind of came in a little bit late or hasn't signed up. I'm going to put the link one more time in the chat. Otherwise, you can go over into the event itself. It should be running. You may need to close this one down after you get in, or copy and paste that link somewhere so you don't lose it. Whatever works, right? I know you all need staff, and we have so many students, and this should be an easy thing. This should be an easy thing. Okay, I'm just going to grab the link one more time. Okay, so link's in the chat one last time. Click on that link, jump on over there, and I'll just hang out here in this to make sure everyone gets over nicely. And Marilyn, if you want to go over to the event, and Heather and Amanda, feel free, and I'll just kind of hang out and stare at your lovely faces finally.